So we'll get started in just a minute here. We've got a nice little mix today. Now, so actually, yeah, I should let everybody know we are going to be doing a bit of kicking with this one today. We haven't done much kicking lately, so I thought we'd get the mat out and get the core engaged a little bit on this session today. So if you don't have a mat or something you can get down on the floor with to comfortably kick on your back, then now is a good time to find something to use for that. And pull it up, and we'll talk a little bit about how you can, how we can scale the kicking and adjust it and make it easier, make it harder, and go through that. If you've been on one of the calls before where we've done kicking, you've heard me say it, but I think there's a few people here who have not been on when we've done some of the kicking, the streamline kicking stuff. But we'll get into that after we get going. All right, so let me stand up and get going with some stretches with you guys. One sec here. All right, so we're gonna do our warm-up, our nice normal warm-up here. Arm swings, trying to open up things up across the chest a little bit. See if I got a better view today. Kind of loosen through the back, the shoulder, and just everything in here. So the idea is we're kind of get everything moving, get everything kind of lubricated, just about movement at this point. So we can get ready to kind of put some pressure onto the shoulder joint and those muscles kind of around there. So today we'll start with choose an arm, your choice, right or left, forward circles. Again, we want a nice big range of motion for about 10 circles here. And as we come up over the top this way, that's where you're feeling it, right in the back there. We'll do about 10 on this side or so. And then we'll switch to the other side. There we go. I'm gonna move here because I'm hitting ceiling. All right, there we go. About 10 circles right over the top. We don't have to be fast on these, not hard. You don't need to throw your arm around really quick. It's just getting that movement going, opening things up a little bit, a nice big range of motion as we go through. All right, now we'll switch to the other arm again and go backwards this time. Now, if the backwards motion, this is where we feel it through the chest and through the pec muscles a little bit, the front of the shoulder, right through there again. Which way are we going? Backwards, sorry. I forgot which way we were going. Big range of motion all the way through. We get about 10 of these or so. I always lose count, so we just go for a little bit. All right, switch arms, the other one, nice and big. Don't want to be twisting side to side, but nice and square so we can really just work the range of motion for the shoulder here, right through. There we go. For about 10. And then we'll do the other way here. Instead of around the top, let's just go right around the front and just kind of, as you come this way, feel that squeeze in the back here and just let it bounce kind of back. Give yourself some hugs. We'll do that same motion, but now let's bend over at the hip and just kind of get this side to side, kind of going like this. You can kind of feel your spine start to wiggle and move here and loosen up nicely. Oh, and then we'll stand back up, swings this way, and then we will go back to our arm swings. We'll go forward again, double arm this time. And now this time you can kind of pick it up a little bit and you can add a little bounce to this, the swing as you go here and just kind of really try to feel it across the chest and across the back now. We'll do about 10 of those, standing up nice and tall while we do it. And then we'll go reverse motion backwards. And really feel that squeeze in the shoulder blades and really feel it kind of opening up across the front here. And kind of, move it right through. And now we should start to feel the shoulders a little bit. And from there, we'll go right into our streamline stretch. So squeezing right over the ears, right on top of the ears, fingertips right up to the ceiling. And then you can even try to make yourself a little bit longer up on your tippy toes and just really stretch yourself up from toes to hands. We'll go one side, feel the stretch along the side, over to the other side. All right, back up to the top. Sometimes I do a little twist this way. Just trying to get everything tight, moving, nice and loose. And then let's do our alternating arm swings today. So one arm forward, on arm back, up to the top, and then switch directions to the top So let's see, I'm doing left arm forward, right arm back, and then the opposite, right arm forward, left arm back. And it's really easy to want to twist on these side to side, but again, try to stay nice and square. And we'll just do a few of those, kind of back and forth. And then right about now, we'll go right back up to that streamline again. And now really stretch it out. And you can kind of just work it side to side on your own here. And just feel that stretch. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then we'll just come down and shake it out again. Whew, all right. Hope everybody's ready to go. So today, before we get going, do I have anything? Yeah, I do have my mat here. Excellent. I will show you real quick. We're going to be doing some kicking. And I think I saw on the Facebook page, there's been some talk about this here and there. And it's how do you modify? How can you make it a little bit easier? So one of the things, sorry, my house is a complete mess right now, but find some space here. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. Now when we're doing this kick, one of the things we want is we want your legs to be nice and straight. My shoes here, toes pointed, and this is it right here. This is the kick, if you can see my legs. Just tiny little kicks, up and down, toes are pointed, knees are straight, not bent. We're kicking from the hip when we do this. We don't need to see big kicks like this. We don't want to see the knees bent, just nice and small, right off the ground. So when we're doing this, let me adjust here. The hardest way you can do it is in a streamline. Your streamline here and you're kicking. If that is a little too difficult, you can get your hands on the side or underneath your butt. That'll make it a little easier. If you still need it, you can kind of come back up like this and lean on your elbows. That makes it a little bit easier. And ultimately, if it comes down to it, you can just cut it short. So we're going to be doing some extended kicking today. And if you reach a point where you've kind of modified, it's still bugging you, it's still just not feeling quite right, you can just stop and rest for the rest of that interval if you need to. All right, so our preset today, remember the preset, we're still warming up. We're still getting loose. It's the first thing we're gonna do when we hop on the bands. So it's still kind of getting the shoulders going, still getting that all loosened up. And we are gonna do a little mix today between some short double arm pulls, short intervals of double arm pull mixed with the kicking. So we're just gonna be going back and forth. Now we don't need a lot of tension on these. As I always say when we do the preset, it's what I like to say, slow and deliberate. So we're focusing on form, still warming up the shoulders, doing what's right. We want just a little bit of tension at the top so that it's there to help set up that stroke, and then just push all the way through. And again, we don't need a high tempo, we don't need a high tension. We're still loosening up on this. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out by just doing 10 seconds of slow and deliberate double arm. Let me pull up my stopwatch here. And then we're gonna go right into 15 seconds of kicking. So on my go, we're gonna do 10 seconds of double arm, slow and deliberate, still just kind of warming it up. But all right, here we go. 10 seconds starts right now. You're only gonna get a couple of pulls in, but that's kind of the point. We're just warming up here. Just get 2 or 3 and that's fine. All right, we'll drop the chords now and we'll get down into the kicking. We're gonna be doing quite a bit of back and forth on this today. So you're gonna be up and down a little bit here. But we're gonna do 15 seconds now of kicking. And we are going to start that 15 seconds right now. All right, just slow, toes pointed, just off the ground. Just getting the core engaged a little bit here. Okay, and stop. Excellent. Get back up. Find the chords again. This time we're gonna go for just 15, still not super long here, but 15 seconds of pulling on my go, 15 seconds of double arm. And again, we're still just warming it up, but we'll start 15 seconds of double arm pull, starts right now. And we're working on a nice stable upper body, pushing through the back. Okay, and stop. All right, drop the chords, get right down. We have got 20 seconds of kicking now. So we're gonna up it a little bit here, climbing this ladder, but we're gonna do 20 seconds of kicking starting right now. So preset to some short little intervals here, getting everything ready, getting everything warmed up for our main set. 10 more seconds of this. 5 more seconds. And stop. All right, back onto the stretch cords. And you guessed it, 20 seconds this time around of double arm. We'll get started in just a second here. So 20 seconds of double arm. Now, as we're kind of working through this, as we build up through this preset, if you want to start adding a little bit of more tension, you can. But again, the focus here is more on form and getting ready for our main set than working real hard. But 20 seconds of double arm starts right now. Go for it. Pushing right through the back. 10 more seconds. 5 more seconds. And rest. All right, we're almost there. Building up now, 25 seconds of kick, 25 seconds of kicking. And we will start the 25 seconds right now. Go, 25 seconds of kicking. Nice tight core. Squeeze it, gauge the core a little bit here. Figure out which position is going to work best for you today, as we're going to do some kicking in the main set as well. Got 10 more seconds. And rest. Okay, back on the cords now. Building our way up, 25 seconds of double arm. We only got a few more here, and then we'll get right into the main set. But now we've got 25 seconds of double arm pulling. Again, if you want to start to add a little bit more tension here, and not so much more tempo, but a little bit more of an acceleration through the back end of this, we can start doing that as we build up. We got 25 seconds, starts right now. Go for it. 25 seconds of double arm pulls. And making sure we're pulling all the way through the back, straight arms at the end. We want to be parallel with our body. We don't want to overextend that finish and finish up above our body, but right past our hip. 5 more seconds. And stop. All right, our last kick of the pre-main right here. We're going for 30 seconds. 30 seconds a kick this time. Going just a second here. Looks like everyone's getting set up. All right, 30 seconds of kick starts right now. Go for it. 30 seconds of kicking. As we do more and more kicking through the day here today, if you started out with the streamline and then you find that that's just getting to be a little bit too difficult, you can adjust. Or as you're working through one of these intervals, if you get to about the 20-second mark and then you need to move your hands under your butt or get up on your elbows, that's fine too. 10 more seconds. 5 more seconds. Okay, and stop. All right, last little bit of the pre-main here, 30 seconds of double arm pulls. This is gonna be the end of the pre-main. We'll take a little break after this, and then we'll get going on our main set today. So we've got 30 seconds straight, double arm pull, and we will start that right now. Go for it, 30 seconds of double arm pull. This is where we start to have that acceleration through the back end there. It's looking good. All right, right through the back. We've got 5 more seconds. Okay, and rest. All right, so let's drop the cords. Good time to grab some water. Do a little extra stretch, a little extra swinging on your arms here just to make sure everything's loose and everything's ready to go. But what we're gonna do today is some intervals of both single arm and double arm with some kicking mixed in between. And the time will come down for the stretch cords, and it's gonna go up for the kicking. And we're gonna go twice through our main set today. So we've kind of built up to kind of a little bit of a longer main set here. But some good effort. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna go 2 times 1 minute of stretch bands. The first time through, we're gonna do alternating single arm. I want this to be a harder effort, like an 85 to 90% effort, but our emphasis here is on speed. So we're accelerating through. So when we say tempo, one of the things we always talk about with tempo, it's not just moving your arms faster, but it's accelerating your arm through that pull faster. So we want a nice good tension on this, nice and hard, and it's gonna be a full minute is a good amount of time, but it's gonna be a full minute of alternating single arm. We'll take 30 seconds rest. Then we're gonna go a full minute of double arm. All right, so it's that same 85 to 95% effort on that double arm, and then we'll go down into some kicking after that. All right, so we're gonna get started here. We'll get started in about 30 seconds, but we're gonna start out with 1 minute straight of alternating single arm. This should be a difficult effort here, like an 85, maybe 90% type effort, so it should be a good amount of tension. But as I always say, you don't want so much tension on the cord that you can't finish your stroke all the way through the back. If you're only getting to here, then it's time to make it a little easier. We want to get all the way back to a straight arm that should be parallel with the body. All right, 1 minute of alternating single arm starts right now. Go for it. And as you finish that pull, nice and parallel, tempo's up, but what that means, we're accelerating through the back. So we're setting up a good catch up front with a nice high elbow. The fingertips drop down first with the wrist above. Once your fingertips and your elbow and your wrist are underneath your elbow, then that whole arm pulls straight back. And then we finish in passed through the hips. Try to find that rhythm here, that tempo. We've talked about that before on these sessions. It's almost, you're trying to, in a way, mimic a swim stroke. So we're trying to find that same swim type of rhythm. Got 20 more seconds. So you can start your pull before your other hand gets all the way up. 10 more seconds. And rest. All right, we'll take 30 seconds of rest here. So good amount of rest. Got a good amount of effort, good amount of rest. This time we are going another 1 minute straight, but this time it's a double arm pull. This is, again, setting up that catch up front. This is the position we want to see at the top of that stroke. You want to be here to here. First thing that happens, fingertips come down, elbow goes up into this position. Make sure you're not pulling back this way, but getting up on top of it. Right over here, pulling all the way through the back. All right, we'll get started in 10 seconds here. We're going to do 1 minute straight, double arm pull. Good amount of tension on this as well. So this would be a hard effort. We're going to go in 5. And go. 1 minute straight, double arm. We're doing these standing, making sure you're not standing up too tall. You want nice, stable upper body, stable head position. As I've said before, just like you're swimming with a snorkel. Accelerate in through the back of that stroke, right past through the hips. It's looking good. Got 30 more seconds. We're halfway there. All right, take a peek here. He's looking good. Nice job, everybody. 10 more seconds. Now we got some rest. Try to stay stable as we are at the end here. And rest. All right. We're going to get down and do, in 30 seconds, we are going to do 30 seconds of kicking. So we're going to do on our back kicking again. We're going to be going for 30 seconds straight. Give your shoulders a bit of a rest as we work through some kicking here. We're going to go in 10 seconds. We got 30 seconds straight. All right, 30 seconds starts right now on your back kicking. Remember, in that streamline position is the most difficult, but if we can't keep the legs straight, can't go without the knees bending, it's a little too hard, you can move your arms to your side, you can adjust your hands under your butt, you can get up on your elbows, whatever you need to do to adjust. And as I said, as we work through this, if it's getting too hard, you can adjust mid-interval if you'd like to. We've got 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds of kicking. Okay, and rest. All right, we'll take a little break here before we get into the next part of our set. We're gonna keep working through this. So we'll take a little break. You can shake your arms out a little bit. And while you guys take your little break, I'm gonna go close my back door so you don't have to listen to my kids scream. We'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so here we go. We are gonna keep moving through this. We have now got same idea as what we just did. This time, instead of going for 1 minute straight, we're going for 45 seconds. So we're gonna drop 15 seconds. The effort remains the same. You don't have to make it any harder. Still that same 85 to 95% effort. We're gonna do 45 seconds of alternating single arm. Find that rhythm like when you're swimming. You don't have to let one arm get all the way back up to the top before you start that next pull. And then we'll take a little break, and then we'll do 45 seconds of the double arm pull. But we will start in 10 seconds. We've got 45 seconds straight of alternating single arm pulls. Okay, we are starting right now. Here we go. This is, again, this is like that 85, 90% effort. So good amount of tension, good effort here. Going for 45 seconds this time. Find that rhythm. The important thing is we find that rhythm without bouncing. Nice and stable. Got 20 more seconds. Ten more seconds. He's looking good. Okay, and rest. All right, we'll take a little rest here. This is a short rest. And then we've got 45 seconds straight of double arm. So it's gonna be the same tension, same effort, and that same idea of thinking about accelerating through the stroke. So the tempo's up a little bit as you kind of power through, especially the back end of that pull. So it's gonna be double arm, same time. We're gonna go in 10 seconds for 45 seconds straight. Okay, we're gonna go in 5. And go. 45 seconds of double arm. Really set up the front of that stroke. Nice high elbow. And then accelerate through past the hip. Making sure, especially at the front end of that stroke, we're setting up really nice with keeping that elbow high as the hands drop down. 20 more seconds. Okay, we got 10 more seconds. Finish strong. Okay, and rest. All right, so we will drop the swim bands, get down and ready for some kicking. And following our little pattern here, we are going for 45 seconds straight on this kick. 45 seconds straight. And we will start in 5 seconds. Okay, and go. 45 seconds of kicking starts right now. Toes are pointed, legs are straight, not bending the knees. Don't have to have super big kicks on this, just short, tight little kicks, little flutter kicks. Comes from the hip and a nice tight core. Really engaging our core here as we kick. And again, if you need to adjust your position as you work through this, that is fine. We've got 20 more seconds. All right, short little kicks, keep them going. Got 5 more seconds. Okay, and rest. All right. Excellent. Nice job. We're working through it here. We'll take, again, a little bit of a longer break now. Grab a sip of water, stretch the arms out a little bit. We'll go in about 45 seconds or so here to a minute. Maybe give you a solid minute of rest here. And we're coming down the mountain, down the ladder. We've got 2 times 30 seconds this time. So 30 seconds, again, you don't have to make it any harder. It's probably already gonna feel harder than the first minute did anyway. So you don't need to add any tension. Still that 85 to 95% effort. just the same pattern. We're gonna do 30 seconds first of alternating single arm, take a break, and then 30 seconds of double arm. We'll get started in about 20 seconds. In 20 seconds, we're gonna go 30 seconds straight of alternating double arm. Okay, looking about ready. We'll go in 5 seconds. Okay, 30 seconds straight and go. 30 seconds, alternating single arm. Power right through the back. Excellent. 20 more seconds. Find that rhythm. Get the tempo going right through the back of there, past the hip. 5 more seconds. Okay, and rest. Take a short rest here, and then we've got our double arm. We've got 30 seconds straight of double arm, that same tension, that same effort. And we will get going in 10 seconds. We get right into it. 30 seconds straight of double arm. Okay, and we're gonna start right now. Go, 30 seconds of double arm. And this is, again, I always talk about with double arm, I always talk about power. Setting up the front and really pushing hard through the back. Jason, try to get your elbows up a little bit more and not like a scoot towards the ground, but almost like you're just grabbing water and pushing through the back. Got 5 more seconds. And rest. Excellent. All right, drop the swim bands. We'll get going in about 20 seconds here. We've got 1 minute straight of kicking, 1 minute straight. So you may need to adjust on this. You may need to adapt a little, but we're gonna go for 1 minute straight of kicking. We're gonna go in 10 seconds. Right into it. Okay, our 1 minute starts right now. Go. Okay, can only see a couple people, so far looking good for who I can see. Nice tight kicks, which looks good. Toes pointed. It's one of the big mistakes we make when we're kicking in the pool is these big kicks with bent knees. And if you're bending your knee, all you're doing is creating more drag for yourself. You know, there's a slight little bend in the knee, but if you've got a big knee bend when you're kicking, all you're doing is pushing water down and creating more drags. We want these nice tight little kicks. We've got 20 more seconds. 20 more seconds of this. Nice tight little kicks, toes pointed. Nice and streamlined. 10 more seconds. Okay, and rest. All right, nice job. We will take a little break here. A little extended break. I'm actually going to adapt our second round here a little bit just to fit the time that we have. So we'll take a longer break right now to grab some water, wipe off sweat, and then we're going to do a quick second round of this. So it's not going to be quite as long or quite the same, but we're going to power through. So grab some water, stretch out a little bit. Don't have too much more. But this time around, we are simply going to go 1 minute of alternating single arm, 30 seconds of kicking, 45 seconds, 30 seconds of kicking, 30 seconds of pulls, and 30 seconds of kicking. So we're going to adapt this a little bit. We'll go in about a minute here just to give you some rest. Now with these, I want the emphasis to be on our single arm pulls. We want these to be strong. We want these to be hard. Now I'm gonna grab my cord driver while we take our break. Here we go. And just a couple of the cues that we talk about a lot, but I just want to make sure, especially as we get tired, this is where things start to fall apart. This is kind of our position. If you're standing right here, make sure you're not up too high. If you're up high, you're starting your pull here, and that's going to be too low. You want to be almost vertical to the floor. I know you're going to feel it in your lower back, your hamstrings a bit. But the idea is we want to be able to start our pull right up here at the top of where almost like a water line would be. Now remember, we get into this position. Watch how my elbow doesn't move. My hand and my wrist drop. The elbow stays up, and then I push back. We don't want to have that straight arm and scoot through. We want to have that bent elbow here and then power right to here. And one of the things I always mention is if we're doing these and you're only getting to here, then you've got too much tension. You need to take a step forward so you can finish all the way through that stroke. And see, this position is my arm is parallel with my body. Sometimes people have a tendency to over pull and end up here. And that's going to be a little bit too high. So just right here is the end of that stroke, just through the hip, right past it. All right. We'll get started in about 20 seconds here. We have got 1 minute straight of alternating single arm. Let's up the effort here a little bit from what we did that first round. We're going to finish hard for this last round here. We're going to finish hard. All right, we're going to go in 5 seconds, 1 minute straight. We're going to start right now. Go for it. 1 minute straight. Alternating single arm. If we're standing, and one of the things I talk about a lot is the bounce and avoiding the bouncing up and down. We want good tempo in that we want to accelerate through. If you remember my example where I was showing you how my elbow stayed up and my hand dropped down, that's the first part of the stroke. And then once my hand is down, that's where we start to accelerate through the back. There's a little more speed through the back end. We're halfway there, halfway on this interval. And try to find that rhythm as we work through this. 20 more seconds. This is where we're getting tired and your head may start to drop a little bit. Want a nice neutral head position. Got 10 more seconds. Okay, and stop and rest. And drop the bands. We will leisurely here take our time so we have a little bit of rest to get down into our kicking position, and we are just going to do 30 seconds of kicking. 30 seconds of kicking. We'll start in 10 seconds. Okay, we're going to go in 5. Okay, and go. 30 seconds of kicking on your back. Hopefully we're feeling a nice little burn from this. Nice tight kicks. Nice and steady. We're triathletes. We don't want to overkick and waste our legs. But we need that stability. That's where the stability comes from, kicking our legs. Helps with body position. Got 5 more seconds. Okay, and rest. Okay. We'll take an extended rest on this one here, about a minute or so. You guys kind of get back up and get ready, and we're just going to go 45 seconds now. 45 seconds of alternating single arm. We are almost done. We're working our way through this. If you're kind of starting to feel a little shoulder pain, if it's a little too much, you know your body best if you need to kind of adapt or alter this at all. But we're going to get going in about 20 more seconds. We've got 45 seconds straight of alternating pulls. And remember, these are hard. Okay, so it's kind of the end of the session here. This is where we're working hard and accelerating through. We're going to go in 5 seconds. Okay, and begin. 45 seconds straight. Nice job. We've got 30 more seconds. 10 more seconds. Pull through. We're getting hard here, making sure we're finishing all the way through the back. Oop, you know what, guys? I lied to you. You've got 15 more seconds. Oops. My fault. That's okay. 5 more seconds, this time for real. Okay, and rest. I tricked you. I also lost track of what we were doing. I apologize. Yeah, a little extra. That never hurt anybody. All right. Little kicking now. 30 seconds. 30 seconds of kicking again. We're going to keep the kicking the same. We're not going to go up on this. We'll go in 15 seconds. We have got 30 seconds straight of kicking. We're going to go in 10. In 5. Okay, and go. 30 seconds of kicking. Getting to the end here, the last couple kick intervals. All right. We've got 15 more seconds. 10 more seconds. Nice tight kicks. Keep them moving. And rest. All right. Nice job. We are going to take a little extended rest here as we get into our last little round of the day. We're going to do 30 seconds of alternating single arm, where I promise not to lose track of what we're doing, and I won't give you any extra. And then we are going to finish up with 30 seconds of kick on the end. So 30 seconds of alternating single arm. This is the last of the pulls for the day. So let's see a really good effort here. Don't let your form fall apart here at the end though. Okay, we're gonna go in 10 seconds. We've got 30 seconds straight of alternating single arm. We are gonna start right now. Go, 30 seconds. This is it, last 30 seconds of pulling on the day. Nice and solid, no bouncing. Powering through the back end there. We are halfway there. He's looking good. Got 5 more seconds. And stop. All right, drop those swim bands, and then we will finish up with 30 seconds of kicking. I'm gonna go in 15 seconds. We've got 30 seconds of kicking, and that'll be it on the day. Great job. Okay, we get set. We're gonna go in 5. Okay, and go. 30 seconds. Here we are, 30 seconds of kicking. Toes are pointed, legs are straight. Don't need to be super high off the ground. Just short, tight little kicks. 15 more seconds. Nice job. We have 5 more seconds. And rest. All right, there we go. Everybody, nicely done. That is it for the day. All right, stretch it out. Make sure, again, we're kind of getting those shoulders stretched out. Everything kind of worked through and just nice and loose through all that. That's good. So we will take this time here again, as always. I'm happy to sit around and answer any questions anybody has about stretch cords or about swimming or kicking on your butt or whatever. I know we talked a little while ago. Scott brought the question actually about getting into harder bands. I know we've been doing stretch cords at Purple Patch for a while now, so people may be wanting to work to harder bands, something more difficult. One of the things we talked about is sometimes you might be in between bands where something's one level of band, the yellow maybe is too easy, the green is too hard. One of the things you can do is, as you guys have noticed when we do these sessions, is a lot of the times we'll do these double arm where it's short power efforts. So you could even set up two sets of bands. So if it's something like a longer 1 minute interval, you could use the easier band. And then when we get into like 15 seconds of hard double arm, you could switch to the harder one. That's an option. So that was just something that popped into my head the other day. I don't think we quite talked about it in that extent when Scott had the question a few weeks ago. But beyond that, does anyone have any questions? Anything you want to ask? Happy to answer.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, thank you. When we're kicking, if we kick on the strain line, is your head resting on the floor or is your head a little bit sort of up?
It's up a little bit. So we want to do that. With that, we want to have our proper streamline position. And with that, you're basically squeezing right over your ear. It's going to be really easy when you're on your back to want to put your hands behind your head and kind of rest your head on your arms. But if we do that in the pool, you can kind of see I'm just opening up my head to hit water. So we're kind of mimicking what we're doing in the pool. So with that, we're squeezing right over. Personally, I don't have the flexibility to lay flat on my back. You might, and if you can do that, I mean, that's fine. You don't have to lift your head up. I don't have the flexibility to lay completely flat in a streamlined position. If you are that flexible and you're able to get your head in between your arms and in that position, that's fine. The idea is we're just trying to kind of create that straight line all the way across as much as
So
possible.
basically the arms just by the ears.
Yep, you're trying to cover your ears with your biceps, basically. Yep, yeah, just like that. Right.
Actually, my question is along the same line, Sean. Can you talk about a little further down, specifically in terms of, I thought Matt said something in one of the videos about a flat back. My back arches, my lower back, I mean, it's just going to arch with any kind of moderate effort. Is that okay, or what's?
Yeah, it is to an extent. Ideally, what we want is we want that lower back to be pushed down against the ground. That's going to help you engage your core a little bit more. If you're arching your back too much and you're almost kind of coming up into that position, you're not going to be able to engage your core in the same way. That's why some of the time, if you put your hands under your butt comes up and it helps get your arch down a little bit, and that will help you engage your core a little bit more. So maybe try putting your hands under your butt and see if you can kind of get your back a little bit flatter on the ground.
Okay, that helps. Yeah, maybe and maybe that's something too that changes over the course of a workout as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have an unrelated question too, or unrelated to that, but related to the chords themselves. There's a lot of talk about like level of effort, 80%, 90, 95%. I mean, at some level, if you're using the same chord, it's kind of the same effort. It's just a question of how much faster or slower. So I'm wondering, is it a matter of speed, or is it how close you're getting to the source, or what? Maybe you can kind of talk a little bit more about what do you mean by that level of effort.
Yeah, the other thing I could do too is and this kind of, it goes for swimming, I think, to some extent as well. When we talk about level of effort, you can almost use it on a scale with RPE, right? So rate of perceived effort. So if something is like 85%, that's an RPE of like a 7. And with the stretch chords, it could be a number of different things. It could be adjusting the tension, or it could be adjusting the tempo. I like to think of it kind of as a mix of the both. I mean, I think it's like with anything. If you were to start out that very first minute we do, and I say it's 80%, you're probably, let's say you're 6 feet away, you've got that good amount of tension, you're able to keep the tempo and finish strong. If we were to do that 7 times, you might need to move forward to hold that. It might just be too hard at the end. So when I say 75%, 80%, it's kind of on this broad scale of percentage of effort as well as RPE and things along those lines. So it's hard to dial in. I mean, it's stretch chords, right? Swimming and running, you can kind of gauge what a 75% effort is. What's a 90% effort? It's not always going to be the same. It's often going to be different. And it might also be different depending on what we're doing. So, an 85% effort for 1 minute might be different for 85% effort for 20 seconds. You can kind of follow what I'm saying with that.
Yeah.
So really it's more of just me trying to give you a big idea of how hard I want it. And usually that's kind of more with tension, because I will also want you to get, a lot of the times I'll mention that I want the tempo up higher or lower or something along those lines.
Okay. Hey, thanks for that. And thanks for today's session too. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, you're very welcome. All right. Anything else?
I just wanted to add to Greg's dilemma of his lifting back. I'm a yoga instructor. I would encourage hollow rocks, which are holding the hollow body, and you rock up and down. Again, we talked a little bit last time about my handstand exercises. This is one of those handstand exercises. So you're engaging your navel to spine is the cue that we give to encourage people. You lift your upper neck and legs off the ground, and you rock gently like you're a seahorse.
Oh, very cool. Thank you.
It'll be painful, but enjoy.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
To add to her remarks and even to answer Greg's question, some of the earlier Monday sessions with Sarah and Chelsea,
Mm-hmm.
the first 5 or 10 minutes were really focused on breathing and on your back, getting your legs up, your arms up, which would tuck that curve of the spine, and tuck your ribs down. So really going over that, keeping your back flat, and even Coach Mike O's sessions, like doing that hollow body, he does that a lot to really engage the core and get down flat on your back. So everyone can check out those sessions, from a couple weeks ago. Really is when he really started touching on it, just for everyone's benefit for that curved back concern.
That's excellent. Thank you. Yeah, and I'll shoot them an email and find out too. Maybe if anyone joins, for that next session we do on Wednesday, I can find out which episode that was exactly, and we can help share that. I like to mix in the kick every now and again. We don't do it all the time. It's probably been a few weeks since we have, but that's definitely good information going forward. And yeah, definitely, if you guys haven't, check out the stuff that Mike is doing with his classes, and Chelsea and Sarah as well. It's really, really good information in there that they're sharing for sure. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
For coming.
Thanks.
Hard. And we'll be back here on Wednesday if you want to join in.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.